you can't gain wealth without taking some risk. Now, our job certainly with our veterans is to minimize that risk.
100%.
To minimize the myth. Every 1% drop in interest rates, 5 million more buyers come into the market. Not 5 million more homes.
5 million
buyers
more
for a limited supply of homes. So you get the house now. You hold on to it, and when everyone and you watch when everyone else starts selling their homes, when the rates go down, and you're watching the value of your home go up. Pat yourself on the back for making that good decision.
Yep.
And you're going to refinance when those rates go down. But you know what? You're not paying more. You're not paying more. Even if you got a little bit of short-term pain, the long-term gain is going to be worth it.
So the rental gain, for those of you that's PCS and all that, goes again. Keep that property. I do not want you to sell that property. I want you to purchase that property, get you a great property management, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. I want you to hold that asset. I want you to be okay, and I know it's maybe a little tough to suck $500, but again, look at it. It's an investment. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the DB Business Blueprint Podcast. I got my man here, Larry Gonzales, the broker, man. Good friend. I've been knowing Larry for a while. Not only just a friend, he's also a partner. We have some deals together, and he's doing great things out here. And everybody know this guy, so I don't know. I need to let him give himself an intro. Everywhere I go, they know Larry G. So Larry, man, welcome to the DB Podcast Blueprint. How you doing, man?
I am doing great, D. It's great to be here. You and I have been working together for a while, and by chance, and we have helped a lot of veterans use their VA home loan benefit and then invest really and grow their financial legacy. And it just starts with that first home, right?
That's all.
That's people ask what's the secret. Start with one home, and then you just start building. And you start building.
That's it. Secure the asset, right?
Yep.
And figure it out yourself. So those of you that don't know Larry, give a little bit about yourself. You got a military background, got a phenomenal family. You know what I'm saying? Like give everybody who's Larry G.
So I'm from California originally, San Jose, California. Served in the Navy for 24 years. Really. Lived all over the world and ended up in Hawaii about 15 years ago. And my family been married for 31 years. My family has been with me on every one of my 13 PCS moves.
Right.
So understand what it's like, the stressors of moving a family. Whether it's cross country, we've driven across country 3 or 4 times. Awesome. We've flown to Japan, lived in Japan, I lived in Korea. The trips back and forth, but they've been with me the whole time. So and when you get out of the service moves on, man. That Navy ship pulls away from the pier, and they're off to their next thing.
Absolutely.
But your family remains.
Absolutely.
And so I'm blessed, father of 3 children, 33. 28 and then 19 years old, so a little space. My youngest is a freshman in college and kind of going through those.
Shout out to Ty.
Yeah, big Ty. He should be finishing up here, in a week with his freshman year of college, and he survived. That's usually the toughest year, especially being away from home, being on your own. But he's doing well. He's doing well. And I'm a grandfather now. Speaking of kind of going through those stages of life, I'm in that next stage as a grandfather. Grandpa, Papa Gons. I've been trying to get my kids to call me or have my grandson call me the G-Man.
The G-Man.
You got G-Ma.
Yeah, the G-Ma.
I like G-Man.
Right.
But I think I'm Pop. So
awesome.
But yeah, that's life changing. Being a grandparent is life changing.
And you all of this, you did this, at the duty military. And how you did 24 years. 24 years. Navy.
Yep.
Retired. Decided to stay here.
Yeah.
In Hawaii. Beautiful, right? You know what I mean? It's so many benefits. Hope we have enough time to talk about everything we want to talk about. But, just living here, investing in Hawaii, working here in Hawaii, you have your new company now, right? The broker.
Yep. So I retired in 2016, and I I started my career as a loan officer, kind of really by accident. I didn't want to do any of the other jobs I could have done. I could have gone and worked in the shipyard, contractor. I'd done
all that standard W-2.
Man, in the service, you deploy all the time, man. I miss
Always.
my daughters. They joke around. I missed a lot of their teenage years,
yeah.
and my son was maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and I'm like, I don't want to miss that.
Right.
So I wanted a job that gave me some flexibility.
Absolutely.
And so I got in the lending industry, and I was very successful. And really it was because, man, I know all the things that veterans go through. I didn't even know I had a VA home loan benefit. When I moved here, I owned a home I bought in Virginia Beach. I came from Virginia Beach. I owned a home there. I used it wasn't even a conventional loan. It was basically an interest-only loan. This is 2005 when we had all the subprime loans. I was one of those subprime guys, and I came here and went right into base housing. 6 years in base housing, gave up $300,000 in BAH. That's a lot of money. And worse, it's time that I could have let that money work for me instead of giving it up to Uncle Sam.
Right.
And then I love to hear so much. And most people, that's what happens, man. They live here. They like the lifestyle. It's nice being away from the mainland. I mean,
absolutely.
The only bad thing, obviously, is that you're not close to your family.
Right.
If you have family. But
you get them an opportunity to get a fly out here anytime, you can fly them out. You successful and, mom, cousin, whoever, come on out and I'll help you with your ticket or whatever.
And being a loan officer has allowed me to invest in property so that when I got family coming out, friends, I just had friends from my old neighborhood in Virginia Beach come out,
right?
And stay near me, and just being able to provide that lifestyle,
right,
to my family, it's been amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I actually about 5 years in, I decided I wanted to stay, and that's right about the time I was looking at, actually. Right about the time I learned about I had a VA benefit. Like I said, it was on accident. I went to go get pre-approved. I was going to do like a $600,000 loan, conventional with a down payment. And my loan officer said, Larry, you can use your VA benefit. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not a veteran.
Right.
And she's like, no, you're active duty veteran. You can use your VA benefit and you can buy that bigger house.
Right.
And I'm like, for the same amount of money.
And how many years you been in the military when you found that?
20 years.
20 years.
Dude, the Navy, the military, they don't train you to buy homes.
Oh, my God.
They train you to put warheads on foreheads. That's what we do. And that's what I was concerned with, doing my job.
Right.
And so many other veterans are that way. And,
right.
For me, being able to tell that story, people relate to that.
Yeah, that's 100%.
You know?
Yeah, and it's great, what you just said. It took you 20 years. To understand it, but now you got a mission, I got a mission where we helping veterans, active duty. If you wore that uniform, all right, and I tell people that's when we talk about leverage, there's no other better leverage than that. All right, what Uncle Sam will be pretty much the co-signer, right, where you put $0 down and get a property, and I know that obviously. It's not like, oh man, it's a lesson, and you taking what you have learned and you going out and you out there. I go to your seminars. I see you teaching other veterans. Hey, look, this is what you should do. This is what I did wrong. This is, because we know there's a sharp curve ahead. You know what I mean? Our goal is to make sure no one goes over that curve, and if we can teach these young soldiers that, and you got your shirt on, says BH. Stands for buy a house. I like that. I like that a lot, man.
And I didn't know that. I gave up my BAH for most of my career.
Right.
But I think I do my seminars once. I'm gonna probably start going to twice a month, virtual and in person. And I talk about my mistakes because it ain't easy. Because again, we got there are a lot of distractions, and there are a lot of people in our ear saying you shouldn't buy, like all your buddies who are base housing, and they're like, hey man, let's come on over here. And I did that, man. I was living fat, dumb, and happy in base housing, going on New Year's from house to house, partying, having a great time.
They got all the new cars. The parking lot looked crazy. I got the Mercedes, the Acras, the Jeeps, and all those things. And they're giving all that money away, right?
Yeah. And
Liability.
Yeah. I
liability oh my God. Assets over liability.
I just had a client, D, $2,100 a month car payment.
Wow.
That's $300,000 a home that man is driving. And
unbelievable. That's going to what? Depreciate
as soon as you drive it off the lot
all day long. It's gone.
But $300 in a property is going to appreciate.
Right.
And so I educate them and on the mistakes I made. You have a real estate company now, and people don't like my first home I bought. I didn't use a realtor. Man, I got taken to the cleaners.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And I didn't do the home inspection. I knew nothing. I knew I wanted to buy a home, but I didn't. I thought I had to pay the realtor, and that's not the case.
Right.
And so I didn't use one. I went did a FSBO. I paid more for the house than what it was worth. I didn't do a home inspection. We moved in 4th of July weekend. Ty was 3 months old, and that weekend, humid, Virginia Beach, humid, hot, 90s.
Right.
The AC craps the bed. Compressor freezes. I'm new. I don't even know anybody in my neighborhood.
Right.
I'm calling AC guys, hey, can you come take a look? And one guy had some mercy on us, and he actually replaced that on 4th of July weekend.
Wow.
But,
good.
That was kind of the first of several mistakes that I made, my first property.
Right.
But you know what? If I hadn't bought that property, I wouldn't be in the position I am now, because that property helped set me up to buy the properties that I bought since then.
Right.
And using the VA benefit.
Right. And there's a lot of myth out there, right?
Oh,
I know you was talking to your seminar, and we hear it all the time, with the VA, do I got to be a veteran out in the military? Can I use it more than one time? And, it's a lot of myth out there. I want you to break that down so that those of you that's watching this right now, and you watching this where you're, driving your, $300,000 car, like you said, which I hope you ain't doing that. Oh, by the way, I teach. That's my thing. You create cash flowing assets. You let assets like these properties that you take your BAH, put $0 in it, live in it for 12 months, let somebody carry that note on. And when you when you're 30, 35 years old and you want a car and you had that property, you got all that equity and it's cash flowing, you're a good old $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 check, buy it that way. Yep. All right. You want to buy right. And there's so many people out there, they get that wrong.
Well, I hope we'll talk about how you have done that, because I think that's so important. The key thing is you do something.
Right.
You don't just sit back. You surround yourself with people who
like-minded.
are like-minded people. Birds of a feather flock together,
100%.
right? And so you want to be around those people. If you want to rent forever, hang around with renters.
You're going to rent.
If you want to be around people who live their life on a credit card, well, then you're going to do the same thing.
100%.
And I love your story, D, because you weren't born with this knowledge.
No,
you
self-educated.
Self-educated, whether it was a mentor or a book
YouTube.
or several books.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to you work.
Yep.
And everyone sees the pictures of D enjoying life, living it up. But there's a guy who doesn't sleep a lot, because I know
absolutely
you're hustling, you're out there, you're taking risks. You can't gain wealth without taking some risk. Now, our job certainly with our veterans is to minimize that risk,
100%,
to minimize the myth. And we talk about the myths now. You can use your VA home loan benefit more than once. I'm on my second home with my VA benefit, but I have clients who have had 3 active VA loans at one time because of the way they leverage buying their home.
Right.
You can once you sell your home, if a lot of people, they use it once they sold their home, they don't realize they got that benefit back.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who don't know are the people who served before the Gulf Wars,
right,
in Vietnam and even still some in Korea. I had a Vietnam vet. He thought his benefit had expired, and at one time you had 10 years to use it. And I'm like, no, dude, you still got a benefit.
You still got it.
And he came to a farmer's market, and his son actually came out and said, hey, I think my dad is eligible, but he doesn't believe he is. I'm like, send him out.
Right.
So I'm like closing up, and his dad comes out, and he served in the Navy. He was on a tin can destroyer, Vietnam. He was a machinist mate. So he worked in inside the engineering spaces
Right.
on a ship, and all of that lagging was all asbestos. And
Oh, wow.
and I was an engineer most of my career. I'm like, dude, I'm going to show you got a benefit.
Right.
Do you have disability rating? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I'm going to get you your benefit tonight. You need to go to TRIP, or you need to get in line
Right.
and get your disability rating, because I guarantee you got asbestos poisoning in your lungs. And he's like, okay.
And
That
he
night,
do it.
I had his info. I went on the VA portal, boom, pulled his COE. He had it. And,
Just like that.
And I called him the next day. Dude, get the TRIP now.
Right.
It took him 6 months, 100% disability. 100% disability. And he didn't end up buying a home in Hawaii. He actually moved to Vegas.
Right.
But, I mean,
You helped him
he
out,
went
though.
he was paying $3,200 a month in rent.
Right.
And this was 2017. He was paying 2016.
16.
Paying over $3,000 a month in rent in this old Navy housing area. And now he's 100% disabled. He's got back pay.
Oh, awesome.
And 100% disability. That's like $4,000, right around $4,000.
$50,000 a year.
You know, and he was able to buy a home in Vegas.
Yeah,
Boom.
Vegas got great
Got a pool.
taxes
Yeah.
there. No, the value is much lower here, and man, you changed that guy entire life.
Oh yeah, it was huge. It was awesome, man. I was driving home last night, and one of my first clients called me up, and he's like, "Hey, Larry, I saw you started your own company. Congratulations." And he just caught me up, man. I retired now. I sold my mom's house. I've helped my family out.
Right.
And he's like, I just want to say thank you. Good luck. And man, that was like, I'm driving home. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
And I was driving home. I had dinner with a client. She bought a home when she was 19 years old.
Right.
Active duty Army. Bought a home when she was 19 years old.
Awesome.
She sold that home, and she regrets selling it.
Yep.
But that kind of inspired her to get into real estate. And now
100%.
she's getting out of the Army, and she's bought 3 homes in Missouri, and she's on her way.
Right.
And it just takes
one
home.
Yeah,
to
one
get you
home and a mentor. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what we're doing right now, teaching people to leverage that VA so they can buy properties and continue to grow and scale. Because 19 years old, I know the feeling. I purchased my first property. 20 years old. I've been investing in real estate 21 years nonstop. All those assets that I purchased, 13,000, 50,000, still got them. And the only reason I got those back home because I have people that I didn't have nowhere to sleep at. Sometimes I had to, I was sleeping in my friends' houses. I got a friends, that I grew up with, that either in one of my properties right now, and I'm talking about $500, $600 a month, where I can be double that if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But everything else though, I still own. My first VA property was actually in Texas, Fort Hood, Texas. In fact, 2025, this is my last mortgage statement, July.
Okay.
And we got it as a vacation rental property. And I tell people that, I ain't gonna say I lucked up, but I listened to my mentor and my saw major, who I was driving him, and I was his driver, and I drove for him for my first 3 or 4 years in the military. And when we left South Korea, went to Fort Hood, Texas. And I was there for a hot minute getting ready. We got there, went to Iraq. And he said, "Man, you got to buy a property." I'm like, "What about property?" So I got closer to him. And even though this guy got 20 plus years, he go out in the best neighborhood, Skilchar Mountain in Harker Heights, Texas. And what I did was, he said, "You need it by here." And I went there and I purchased. Couldn't afford none of those houses, but I got the smallest house in the neighborhood. And I still own that house. And that house done increased in value over 200+% since I purchased it, and I still own it. And it goes to, just like you saying, that person was 19. But I did the same thing. I refinanced. I used it again. Brought another one. I refinanced. Dual. Me and my wife dual Army. So she got her own VA. I got my VA. We go as much as we can separate. And then, if we got to
whatever's left over, combine it.
Yeah, combine it, and that's what we've been able to do, and we continue to do it, and continue to look for opportunities. And I'm in a great position now where I have so many different assets, I have so much equity, and it's been really great for me to be able to leverage those assets to do other things with.
And you don't see that that profit right away. It takes time, but it builds. It's like that snowball effect. It grows and it grows. And I tell you what, if you are a dual income family, dual military income family, D's story is incredible. What he and Pam, his wife, have done. You have 2 VA benefits. Yes. You don't have to use them both at the same time. You can use one, and then you can use the other. You can go back and forth.
Right.
And talk about the opportunity to build wealth. Nobody has it better than dual military income.
Absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about what you and Pam did with regards to your income. How did you survive on 2 paychecks?
Yeah, we didn't survive on 2 paychecks. We took 1 paycheck, invested the other paycheck, and we, military family, 5 kids, and just living frugal. I'm saying you sit in the military, you got E3, E4 coming in with all we call them, we say AFES babies, got all these dependents coming in. I was like, man, if they can do it, what I'm saying, we can do this too. And when we was drill sergeants, I was drill sergeant, really young. Within 4 years, I was going up the ranks quick. My wife was going. It was drill sergeant by age, I think I was 26 years old, 25 years old, and we went out. We sat down and started living off 1 paycheck, and we've been investing our entire paycheck, right? Not putting in a savings account. I've been investing, and in my head, the way I think was, I'm saying, listen. So if I'm going to do 20 years, you're going to do 20 years, and we're going to lose half our paycheck. We need to start figuring it out now to live off 1 paycheck. And what that allowed us to do was, as we continue to we got yearly raise. Both of us, got promoted really quick. I went from E1 to E7. Pam went to E1 to E7. Then I went from W1 to W4. Pam went to W1 to W3. So all those years, I was still living like I was, like me and her, 1 paycheck is like an E5 pay, right? Yeah. Living frugal, using our VA. Everybody's always scared. Oh, man, but what if I leave here and I can't pay it? You talking someone that got, I done purchased over 1,200 units. And I have a lot of properties right now. And I would tell you, I probably can count on one hand that my properties probably was empty more than a month, right? Because I'm investing in these military towns at the time. Now, obviously, I'm in Hawaii. God bless and moved us here to Hawaii. And there's a thing called, demand. There's a great demand here for real estate. I go in a special niche, and all the properties that I purchased the first 4 years was all VA. It was all VA properties that we was purchased. Pam purchased one, then I purchased one, and we refinanced it, and then I was able to purchase a house that I'm living in now. And then, but then at all these years of investing, businesses, I got multifamily accident, I'm getting, $400,000 or $500,000 checks, right? What I'm gonna do with that? I'm gonna put it right back into real estate. I'm in the middle right now doing a VA home assumption loan. And the reason I'm doing it because I'm earmarking my money. I'm always earmarking my money because I need to figure out the tax. I got to make sure IRS is good. The best way to figure them out is make sure I got something to write off to offset all this income that's coming in.
Yep.
So that's my playbook, is to figure out, to create systems, processes, put those in our business, put that in our portfolio, vacation rentals, whatever the case we got going on, and we're going to invest all that money into real estate. And that's going to give us the opportunity to, like right now, I'm doing a VA. I think you were saying Freedom Mortgage. Someone in y'all major, I'm doing a freaking VA mortgage right now. Home is a assumption. And I just started, and you kind of scared me. Said, man, someone on your team, was you?
No, it was Maggie.
Maggie.
My title gal.
Yeah. So I'm doing a home assumption at 2.2%. Picking up a 2,300. I'm out there going to roll about $200,000 cash in it, but I'm calculating what is the cash on cash return of their money. Yep. Now, if I want to go, all right, get that. How much was that mortgage? I mean, that house, not the house, the car.
Oh, $2,100 a month.
$2,100 a month. Yeah. That someone that you was working with, that's how much they spending. Now I'm gonna take the $200,000. I'm gonna invest that in a 2.2%. All right, 30 years, fixed rate, $2,200. I'm gonna rent it for probably $7,500, $8,000. I'm gonna get great cash on cash returns. And if I want to go stroke a check and say, hey, I now want the $2,100 Mercedes or whatever whatever car they got.
You're paying
That's
yourself.
how you pay. I pay myself first.
Yep.
Me and Pam, we paid ourselves first. We made sure that we had maxed off our RA, made sure we maxed out our TSP. We always felt comfortable living off one paycheck because I was scared too. What if someone don't pay? But again, 20 years investing, I can count on one hand over 30 days it took. So, yeah.
No, and that's, I think that's the big thing. You had to sacrifice to do that, but you had a goal.
Yeah.
You weren't just spending that money frivolously. And I think that's important. If you're a dual military couple and you're living in base housing, you're doing your family a disservice because
Absolutely.
You're not taking advantage of that benefit that you have, that you earned. Less than 0.7% of Americans are serving their country. After World War II, during World War II, there were 16 million people who served in the military in World War II. Now we're down to 1.3 million. Here's the scary thing. We'll off topic a little bit, but people are like getting your disability rating. Oh, I'm fine. You know what? You served. You got issues.
Right.
And when you get out of the military, it's like the warranty on the car goes down, everything starts breaking. That's what happens to your body.
Right.
So get that disability rating.
Yep.
But there aren't a lot of people who are qualified to serve in the military, and you should I am thankful for those people who have served.
Absolutely.
And you owe it to yourself
Absolutely.
and your family to make sure you get that disability rating because you know what? The VA, and most Americans don't even think twice about it.
Right.
They sleep at night peacefully because of the sacrifice of those 1.3 million Americans.
Yeah, and I get a lot of people that's in the military that's probably watching this. I got friends who don't retire that they obviously their kids go in the military or they don't go to the military. They always connect me with them. So I get a lot of younger people and what do you got to say for those that's watching this or on the sidelines like, oh man, rates up, should I go, should I buy, or what
rates going up is a temporary thing. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, but as long as rates are going up, despite that, because we have such a lack of supply across the country, the last year and a half, our interest rates have been between 6 and 8%. But the value of homes in Hawaii has stayed steady, and depending on the area, gone up.
Right.
And even in parts of the mainland that kind of initially saw a drop, they're coming back strong.
Right.
So, do you think that when the rates go down, you're going to get that home cheaper? No, you're going to pay more for the house.
It's going to be a flood.
Yeah, it's going to be a flood.
So many people on the sideline right now waiting to get back in the market.
Every 1% drop in interest rates, 5 million more buyers come into the market. Not 5 million more homes,
5 million
buyers
more
for a limited supply of homes. So you get the house now, you hold on to it, and when everyone and you watch when everyone else starts selling their homes, when the rates go down, and you're watching the value of your home go up, pat yourself on the back for making that good decision.
Yep.
And you're going to refinance when those rates go down. But you know what? You're not paying more. You're not paying more.
Right.
You're going to get the home. Just you remember what it was like in 2021.
Yeah, oh my God.
Even the beginning of 2022.
Yeah.
Man, people were going $100,000 over asking. They
It
were
was
going
crazy. It was crazy.
no appraisal clauses, escalation clauses.
Right.
And some of those people really, if they bought that home short term, this is why you buy and hold.
Right.
Anytime you're buying a home and you're going to hold it for less than 2 years, you're going to be in a duty stage for less than 2 years. That's a risk.
Yes.
And people who bought a year and a half ago thinking, oh, I'm going to make my money in a couple of years, they're not making money right now.
Right.
But if you hold on to it, even if you got a little bit of short-term pain, the long-term gain is going to be worth it. My house I bought in Virginia Beach, I bought that 2005. I paid $379,000 for it. It went up to $398,000 in value, and then it dropped when the market crashed, which is totally different. That market and this market totally different.
Right.
We're not going to see that.
Right.
Value went down to $330,000. I couldn't sell the home, so I had to rent it out. And at the time, I had to. I was eating $500 a month for about the first year. I ate $500 a month.
Right.
But to me, I wasn't losing it. It was an investment.
Right. 100%.
Because the value of the home went up. And then I refinanced and I went from paying $500 a month
They're receiving
to receiving $500 a month, which is pretty good,
right.
And I ended up selling it, but eventually, I survived. I survived that pain, and it wasn't. I was losing $500 a month. When you have a $500 a month car payment, you're losing $500 a month. $500 a month mortgage payment out of pocket to cover the delta. That's an investment. And oh yeah, you got your tenant who's making most of that. It's a TSP paid for
right.
by your tenant. You're just throwing in $500 a month, and they're paying the other $2,000 a month.
Yeah. And you talked about the supply and demand, and we seen that across especially multifamily too as well. Anywhere multifamily developers, just if you develop in communities or you develop in whatever the case may be. But what we're seeing is the demand. There's so many people on the sidelines that has to rent. They want to rent because they don't want to get in the market where there's rates 6%. Investors, let's go to 7%, whatever the case may be, 8%. But what's happening is even with the multifamily, we seeing when rates goes up, it's hard for developers to make money.
Yeah,
it's hard. And I would tell you right now is we're looking at a deal. I'm flying out to Texas. It's a $28 million deal, and what we've been doing is been great. It's been perfect going to Maldeep and Texas. We buying all these purchasing all these properties, and all of them are loan assumptions, 3%, 4%, and all that. We're going out to go look at another one, but we got this property. It's a 2020 built, and they have all these plans to build all these apartments. Developers on the sideline, and I was like, so we about to try to scoop up this for $180,000 a door. It's only 4 years old, but the cost to build before rates went up, it was $220,000 a door. Right now, it will cost the developer $260,000 a door.
Yeah.
It can't justify that. So what we're seeing is everything is on pause, and not just for multifamily. This also go with single family, developers that normally go out there and build spec homes, spec when they spec building, all those type of builders too as well. So the rental game for those of you that's PCS and all that goes again. Keep that property. I do not want you to sell that property. I want you to purchase that property, get you a great property management, what I'm saying? And that's what happened. I want you to hold that asset. I want you to be okay, and I know it's maybe a little tough to suck $500, but again, look at it. It's an investment. Somebody, by the time you get someone in there, pay that bill off. It's all those other things that's going to come with it when you turn that property from a single primary residence into a business. And then we talking about business, credit cards and all depreciation, and we can go on and on when we talking about now you a legit business. Flights, you go cover your flights.
I got a home in Annapolis. Every time I go to Annapolis, I'm going to my property.
Right.
I'm checking out my property, and sometimes I'll stay there. That's
right. That's a write-off.
That's a write-off.
That's a write-off.
Yeah. And you look at from an ownership standpoint. Say you buy a home in Hawaii. All right, you got two options. You can buy and sell. It's not a bad option. It's just probably not the best option.
Right.
Or you buy and hold. You look at there's like 9 different advantages that you're not going to get from renting. One, appreciation.
Right.
Or your rent don't appreciate because it ain't your house. Amortization. You're paying down that mortgage. Your home is in a sense your piggy bank. So you're paying down a loan. That's amortization. 3, writing off your interest every year from your taxable income. That's huge.
That's huge.
You can't write off any of your rent.
Nope.
When you're renting. So that's huge. You got your passive income from the rental unit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're not making income off of it, you're out of pocket. That's an expense.
Right.
You have to replace the roof. You have to replace the carpets. That's a tax deduction. So then now you have this asset. You have a lot of equity.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fund buying some of that stuff? You tap that big old piggy bank that has a roof over your head and use that to buy other properties. So you can pay off debt. You can buy another property. You could trade up if you want, but you have all this asset in a piggy
more
bank.
leverage, right?
Yeah, a lot more leverage, and using that leverage is what allowed me to buy. Really, the 3 other three other investment properties and all the multifamilies.
Yeah.
It's kind of that snowball effect. It builds on itself, and and especially here in Hawaii, the rate of appreciation, granted, we had a couple really good years,
right?
But we're still hitting 5-6% appreciation, and that's what's forecasted.
Right.
And I tell you, as soon as those rates go down, man, it's gonna shoot up.
Oh man.
The February this year, rates went down a little bit, like 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
So the market picked up big time. Yeah, people were jamming, and
on the sideline.
And unfortunately, they've come back up, but people are waiting. And you get in now, you're gonna get ahead of the rush.
Right.
Nobody likes driving in traffic. That's why we get up early. We beat the traffic.
Absolutely.
Same thing with buying a home. Get up early. Get in there early.
Early birds
beat the
get
traffic. Yep. And then you're gonna be sitting cruise control while everyone else is scrambling.
Right. Yeah. And then so a young any soldier, right? And I tell people what I did was 2 things I did right. Number one, obviously, we lived off one paycheck. We paid ourselves first, but we got into real estate with the VA. Just take everything else I've did out, right? Take the multifamily out, take the business out, all right? I still was able to be a multimillionaire by doing that. Paying myself first, IRA maxed out, TSP, max it out, and get you a property and hold on to that property. Yep. That's how you're gonna create. That's it. Those 4 plays right there will help you do a military. Or if you're not doing military, you figure out to do this the same way on your own. You should be trying to figure out not to save 5%, 10%. How you able to save 30%, 20%? Because if it's all about mindset and the people you're around, all right, you want to pay yourself first. And one of the things that I did was great. I was telling somebody I was at Monkey Pod yesterday. I was just talking and I was like, no, man, you're making all this money now. They did, retired warrant officer, all right, disability, and picking up a government contracting job, making $150,000. I say, brother, you're making more money than you ever made. I said, you have to pay yourself first. Yeah, D, but I got it. How you do it? I said, bro, you got to do allotments. Allotments? Is that allotment like that? I'm like, yeah, man, allotment. Man, I haven't heard that in a long time. I'm like, people, you can still. I'm like, yes, brother, you have to set up these allotments and put this in cruise control.
Yeah, you don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it. And then now he's in a position because he make he make enough money where he can invest in these jumbo loans and all that. I say, listen, I understand the rate's high. Go get what you know you can afford, and that's what you're making. You and your spouse making almost the same thing. So you're talking about $400,000 or $500,000, and you're renting a property. You should be buying right now, and then and secure the asset.
Yeah, and there's I have clients who come to me. They've been in the service 20 years. They're maxed out on their credit cards. Their credit score's super low. Man, I feel for them.
Right.
And then I get this 19-year-old who comes in eager to learn.
Right.
Not just sitting fat, dumb, and happy and missing out, wanting to get into it. And I'm trying to reach, kind of connect with a 20-year service member and say, hey, it's not too late. You got to get going. All right, you got to get going. And the best time to do it is now. Yeah, you know what? And you're going to get out. Everyone's going to get out, but get into it now. And I started late, but I have my goals.
Right.
My goals are my family.
100%.
I want to be able to give them, as much as I possibly can, so they don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
And every one of all 3 of my children and my grandson, they all got a wealth-producing asset. They all got a home that is going to go to them at some point and help them get through life.
Right.
No college bills,
right.
None of that.
Yeah, it's going to pay for it.
And
who's paying for it now?
Somebody else.
Yep.
That's right.
You just leveraging yourself, your knowledge, your social security number, and signing on the dotted line. And that Hawaii has a high demand, for people. Very. Oh man, we have a housing crisis here. It's very shortage. So it's a great place to invest. Everybody want to be here, but it's a great way to if you're a soldier serving this country, you should definitely purchase.
And there's a lot of guys who are doing this, and they're buying their homes, and they're, obviously there's some short-term rental laws that you gotta work around, but even if you get the 6-month rentals in there, you can make a lot of money.
Absolutely. Just as much as some businesses, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
100%. I got businesses. Some business may do 2,000. I got business do 15, 20. You know what I mean? But I may have a good property. Yeah, we did a deal with was it Red Cloud? Was it Red Cloud? I mean Red Hill.
Redfin. Oh.
Red Hill.
Okay.
Was it Red Hill? Because the contractors just came out. Did you get in those tenants from those contractors from Red Hill?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You didn't have a good experience with those, did you? Or?
Well, it was bad because the guys were slobs.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? They paid to fix everything and replace everything, and it wasn't that bad. It was just, But still, you can get those tenants in there. You just gotta work with the right people, and you gotta do the research.
Right. Absolutely.
There's websites that CHBO, corporate house by owner. There's a couple other options you have.
Furnish finders
for
nurses.
So there's a lot of opportunities to rent your property out. And I'm always looking at those opportunities too. I'm not just sitting back and I'm not retiring my investments.
Right.
I'm looking at, all right, what's the next investment? Whether it's maybe it's working with some insurance folks, doing like the infinite baking concept, just stuff like that. You're always educating yourself,
right? 100%.
And it's people who hang out with you and start investing with you, whether it's Band of Brothers or Tri-City Equity Group. You don't give them everything. You give them a blueprint. They still got to go out and do the work, but
100%.
You make it very easy for them to know where to go. And that's one of the great things about, and one of the reasons I've sponsored the Hawaii Millionaire Mindset Conference for 3 years now, is the opportunity to network with people who are doing what you want to do. Right. I was talking to a guy yesterday. He wants to franchise. I'm like, hey, guess what? July 10th through 13th, go to the Hawaii Millionaire Mindset Conference, because there's going to be a whole section. All right, there's a lot of people who work on and help people build franchises.
Yes.
Vince Gethings has a franchise. You wouldn't think he does, but he's got a very successful franchise.
Yes.
And so that there's just the opportunity, but you got to surround yourself with the right people, and that's this conference. Kind of dovetailing it. This conference is huge.
Yeah.
And you actually talked about it the first time we did a webinar together. And that was actually when you said 100 streams of income.
Oh yeah.
And you're how many streams of income?
About 84 now.
84. You're almost there.
Yeah, almost there. And because you sell some assets,
Yep.
We just sold Bay Street, so
that's right.
But I took that and purchased, went to Dubai, purchased something, doing a home assumption with it. So I'm always earmarking my capital to go. But yeah, we got how many deals? I got 6 deals right now signed that I got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anytime Fitnesses. I started my own franchise with Ken.
Oh, yeah.
So
the salon, right?
Salon studio.
Yeah.
We're going to franchise that, take that nationwide. So, getting to the 100 sources is not if I'm going to get it. We're going to go way past that.
Yeah.
But, that was just a mindset of something that I did. I was saying, you know what? I want to go in the military. I just want to make retirement $4,000 a month. I'm gonna go back to Enfield, North Carolina. I want to stun on everybody.
You sit on your rocking chair.
On the front
porch.
I say, look, don't direct deposit my money. I want mailbox money, because I want to get off my rocking porch and walk to go get my check. But God has something bigger and better in store for me. By the time I get out, I was already making $100,000 a month. My last year in the military, so it's been great. I mean, it's to be able to make that type of money and I just work so hard. I don't spend it. I probably spend, maybe 15% of that.
But you're bringing people with you, and you're giving the opportunity. And you have a skill bridge program.
Yeah.
With maybe you don't know what you want to do. You go do skill. You have it set up with your companies.
Yeah.
That maybe somebody wants to get into the entertainment industry, may not be the right thing, but property management or real estate
business. You want to be operator. You want to do your own franchise. We want to get in multifamily. You want to learn how to underwrite. You want to be a CFO. I got it all. We have different pillars. We got 6 pillars, and each pillar has different roles. And all these roles are, so that you can learn this and do your own thing. And it's been great, man. God, you do stuff for others and just gonna come back tenfold, man.
Does.
It's like
it
just comes. You build those great teams and implement those things that we teach at the conference, like EOS and putting the right people in the right seats, stuff that carries there. We've been killing that culture index because we want to hire people based off the roles that they're naturally born with and make them be happy and be in the right position. So it's going to be great. We got some great speakers coming out. We're going to do more breakout rooms this year as well. And man, we're just going to continue to network. And I'm actually building a course. Man, I've been working 20 hours a day. I started March 15th, and I'm doing something. This is the first year I'm out in the military. And I told my wife, I told my kids, I said, listen, I want to see, all right, don't get mad at me. I want to see how much can I do for the first 12 months. And I want to, it's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to dial back on after 2024.
Yeah.
All right. And those things that I'm talking about is, working 20 plus hours. How many deals can we do per quarter, per month? How many deals I'm signing? I'm working like this because I know what I was able to do in 20 years on active duty.
Yeah.
All right. So I know if I go 10x right now, it's going to put me 10 years ahead of the future right now. I'm doing things right now that's going to place me where I want to be when I'm 50 years old that I'm doing right now.
That's awesome.
So that's what we're doing. It's a mindset. It's not an ego thing. It's like, I'm doing this because somebody watching this where I'm from, or, someone just came in the military that can relate. When I was a drill sergeant, you know what? I'm in the drill sergeant museum. I'm on the billboards because I was drill sergeant cycle year over year. All right. I mean, cycle over cycle. It's every cycle. There's probably only 2 times I wasn't selected. And one of the times I went to airborne school. And the reason I was able to do that is because I worked hard. I was the hardest worker person, hardest drill sergeant, you know what I mean? And I was a staff sergeant at the time. And that position was an E7. My first sergeant said, nah, you're going to keep that position because you changing soldiers. Because when I was a drill sergeant, that's when 2000 the crash hit. And everybody lost their jobs, was in this recession. And that's when we say, we're going to let 44-year-olds come in there. We're going to let tattoos on the net come in. We're going to let people that were CEOs or tech companies was coming in the military. I had people that I can relate to, right? That was, same similarities. I was able to change them, you know what I mean? And that's what I was great at. I was great at that. Great. And then I had people that I wanted to be like. I want to be a CEO. And I've been teaching people investing since I've been learning about it. I got, the coolest things now is when I was a drill sergeant, I got most of them are, senior NCOs, they officers, and like drill sergeant. I used to call me drill sergeant, man. I appreciate you taking that time. You coming in on Sundays doing the TSP, helping me with doing this, and I still get that, and it's been great. And I get, like right now, I don't have to do anything, and that's why I was like, I gotta help other people. So that's why we created the real estate company. And, naturally I want to make sure I can take care of people. That's why I got Avelino. It was a military veteran and all that. So again,
it's paying it forward. And those people are going to pay it forward. 100%. And then pretty soon you got a whole bunch of people out there educating.
Yeah, like you said, though, say your company, right? Your new company, you want to bring people in. You're going to grow your company, but you want to bring the right people. You want to surround yourself with the right people, man.
Yeah, that was kind of when I started the broker. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the biggest, lender on the island. Right. I want to be the best. I want to have the best service. So I brought my team with me. Right. We actually came up with a 95-step process that we go through with all of our loans from start to beyond the purchase. And I've worked with them my team. I've worked with them for years.
Right.
And so we know what it takes to be successful. Mm-hmm. Now we have a lot more loan products to help out. And I am looking to grow the company, but not just anybody.
Right.
I want somebody who's going to come in and have the same ethics, the work ethic, the integrity that I bring to my clients. So that's and in a sense of family too. I think family's important.
Right.
Like one of the reasons why I'm working today in this industry is because not only do I want success for my clients, but my loan partner and my processor,
Right.
I want to help them buy homes, and become successful. So I am grinding
Right.
for those two.
Right.
And I'm probably going to bring on another one or two people to help. Kind of not a lot of overhead, but a lot of work.
Right.
So that I can help them out, because there's no better feeling. Like my mother, she raised me much of my youth. At times she was working 3 jobs.
Right.
And she was a renter for life.
Right.
And I got one of my teammates she's a single mom.
Right.
Primary breadwinner.
Right.
I want to help her buy a home.
Absolutely.
Yep. And was it rising tides lift all ships? You know what? Let's go. And if you want to come and work and work hard and make a huge difference,
right?
And you givers gain. You're going to get back. But there's no better feeling than helping somebody,
absolutely,
buy a home, especially somebody who never thought they could buy a home. And I do that all the time.
So for people that's watching this, where social media, whatever the case may be, we always got people coming to the island or already here. How do they get in contact with you, Larry?
Yeah, so it's super easy. You go to my website, larrythelo.com. You can reach out to me there. My phone number will be here, 808-348-5287. Text me. I answer. I'm retired, but I work on weekends. I don't mind working at night because I'm retired. I know when you're active duty, all right, you don't get to call your hours. So when you're getting off work, I'm ready for you. I'm here to answer your questions. And even on the weekends, most of my realtor partners, they work on weekends too.
Absolutely.
So I got to make sure I'm available for them. I'm not the bank on the corner. All right, I'm your lender for life. I like to say
100%. And not only that, I want to just make sure we mention those of you that's watching. He's not just the lender here in Hawaii, but he can lend all 50 states, correct?
Yeah, so I do investment loans on all 50 states. I'm actually licensed right now. My company is licensed right now in Texas, Hawaii, obviously, Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then Florida.
Right.
And we'll have California here, and who knows, by the time this podcast is out, we'll have California. And we have other states that are coming online. But those are for VA,
right? And
then conventional. But investor loans, DSCR, debt service coverage ratio loans, I'm doing those all over the place. And those are great, especially someone like you. A DSCR loan is a great loan because it's almost a no doc. I just need to show you got assets.
Yep.
And you got a credit score, a good credit score.
Yep.
This is a great loan for realtors too,
right?
Because a lot of realtors, they're 1099, or maybe they have income. They don't have 2 years of income,
right?
That they could use their tax returns and qualify on a conventional or even a VA loan. So this DSCR loan is a great loan product. The interest rate's a little higher, but that's okay. You hold it,
and you're going to write it off.
You're going to write it off, and then when the rates go down, you'll just like any other loan, you'll refinance that later.
100%.
So. And I get, I do four national loans as well in all 50 states, and that's, to me, it's kind of broadening my perspective. I used to probably 95% VA, and I still focus because I'm a veteran. It's what I know. Right. But now I'm able to help a lot of people change their lives through real estate.
No, man. So I appreciate it. You also got the seminars. I want to make sure for the seminars they can the next seminar. No, actually, I ain't gonna say next because I don't know when it's gonna drop.
We don't know this one's coming out.
Yeah, but
every month we're doing seminars in person. I do them over, and typically I'll do them in Kapolei at Taqueria El Ranchero in Kapolei. Great facility to host seminars. The owner is actually an Army vet. Great restaurant. So he supports me. I support him by bringing people, and we serve you breakfast and maybe a little mimosa. We'll do that. And then I'm working on an online webinar as well, and just a couple other things coming down the pipe to really educate more people. I want my width, my breadth of influence to get out there. The more people we can educate,
absolutely,
the more people whose lives we can change.
Hey, there you go. You heard it for my man, Larry Gonzales with The Broker. Make sure you go check him out. We're going to make sure we put all his contact information in all our social media and all that, man. So make sure you check him out. And also, don't forget, to go register right now for July 10th through the 13th. We'll see you right here in Coalina at the Hawaii Millionaire Mindset, the Four Seasons. There's no better place to be at. With that being said, hey, till next time, we out with the DB Blueprint Real Estate and Business Podcast.
All right.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man.